Hey friends, so I just did this incredible ride that I wanted to tell you about. First of all, every dollar I make as an Uber and Lyft driver goes towards my affordable housing project and a little bit to two different charities that I like donating to. I never spend any of it or save any of it on myself. And I'll get into how I can afford to do that in just a minute. But this passenger that I just had, the most incredible dude ever. This isn't so much a crazy story. This was just an entrepreneur that started his own consulting business, and he was telling me about how he was scared to death, but he jumped in anyway, not knowing how he was going to make it work, not knowing what he was doing. But he took education very seriously, loved learning, was a very curious guy, asked questions, learned from the best in the industry, that whole thing. And he did what it took to really know what he was doing. And he went out there and it blew up. He blew away all of his competitors. Like, I think he said it took him like 3 months after he got started of failing and this and that. But he kept going. He didn't quit. Like, most people are non-starters, or most of the starters are quitters and they don't last. When the going gets tough, they quit. When the going gets tough, or people that win, they figure it out. They learn. They love learning. So that's what this guy did. 3 months, and he figured it out, and his new consulting business just blew up. He was telling me all about it. And then I went on to ask him, because I'm curious too, like, so what is it about you that made the difference, that made it all work? And he says, it's not just the education, but even more so than everything that he had learned, because he took that seriously, learning, but it was the care and the personal touch and learning how to communicate with people and relate to people and putting his heart and soul into it. He said that's what made all the difference in the world, and building an excellent rapport with everybody that he talked to, including people that ended up not doing any kind of business with him. He always made sure it was a great experience for everybody that he talked to, whether they did business with him or they didn't do business with him. And I told him that's kind of how I operate with mine, whether it's ride sharing or my network marketing thing or real estate or whatever it is. And we just got to talking about entrepreneurialism, and we did it without, get this, we did it without stepping on each other's sentences. You know, when people get excited and talking about stuff and they want to voice opinions on what they think, and this, that they start stepping on each other's sentences and not listening. Well, I knew right away that this guy was real when he was talking about his love and passion for helping people and communicating and building rapport, because he listened and I listened, and we didn't step on each other's sentences. It was a really cool back and forth, talking about what works for us and things that don't work. And it was really crystal clear. You know, there's a pattern there. And speaking of patterns, he says, you know, I used to take cabs a lot, and all of them pretty miserable, really grumpy, not happy in life. They were working for somebody, you know, employees. And he says, but then I take Uber and Lyft, and every Uber and Lyft driver is happy. They're feeling good about their life. They're in a good mood. It's like, yeah, it's a good technical analysis, very basic pattern recognition. There's something to that about not having to live underneath somebody that tell you what to do. So, really cool ride. And so some takeaways from that, speaking of technical analysis. Number one, get started. Even if you're scared and you have no idea what you're doing, this guy said to me, the first thing he said, yeah, I wanted to do this new business. No idea what I was doing. I was scared to death, but I jumped in and did it anyway. So that's the first thing, to jump in and do it anyway. And the second thing was, you know, it took him a few months to really figure out, find his groove, but he didn't quit. He figured it out. When the going got tough, he figured it out. Most people won't start, but of the people that do start, most of them are quitters. So most people are non-starters and most people are quitters, and they've always got excuses and rationale why they have to quit. Well, the minority have excuses and rationale why they can't quit, and they have to see it through and just learn and figure it out. So that's the second thing, you know, get started. Number two, figure it out. Don't quit. And number three, love learning. Sure, yeah, love learning. But even more important than the learning, the thing that was a big difference maker for him and other people too, it's a pattern, is they work harder on their people skills than they do anything else. Like, work harder on the people skills and how you communicate and connect and relate to people. Know more about that than you do your own product. How about that? Because most people think they have to know more about their product than anything. And that's not true. There's a lot of intellectual masturbators out there. I'll just call them that. Tons of intellectual masturbators out there. They have all this incredible knowledge that they do nothing with, and they know more about their product than they do people, and they wonder why they're broke. So that was the final last takeaway I got from that. So there you go. I wanted to share that with all of you. It wasn't just Uber or Lyft passenger, but just a lot of key ingredients to creating a beautiful, successful life. So, how's that for an Uber Lyft ride? Yeah. And then last, I'll close on this note. In the beginning of this little live feed, I said I'd get into how I'm able to do ride sharing, Lyft and Uber, and I've never spent a dollar that I've made on myself or saved it for myself. Never. And I have no plans to ever do that. So how can I afford to take all this money and put it into my affordable housing project and donate a little to Gerson and a little to the King's Ransom Foundations? How can I afford to do that and not take any for myself? It's because I started a network marketing business over 10 years ago. And I didn't know what I was doing, just like this guy. Here goes the pattern again, just like this passenger I had. No idea what I was doing, but I jumped in. And when the going got tough, I didn't quit. I figured it out. I learned. I love learning. That's my saving grace, learning and consistency. And eventually I learned to work harder on my people skills than my product, so I didn't end up just being an intellectual masturbator like everybody else who just wants to know a bunch of stuff and never puts it into action. And the stuff that they do learn is mostly about their product and mechanical stuff versus learning how to connect with people and communicate with people. So I learned how to do all those things, and I'm still learning because my connection with people actually kind of sucks. But I've come a long way. So that's how I did it. I got into a network marketing gig, and so I'm able to do stuff like this and not take any money from it and put it to work towards other projects for the benefit of other people. And that's a pretty cool way to live, if you ask me. So, final last note, if that turns you on, that kind of stuff, do you want to add health and wellness to people's lives? And do you want to learn how to make residual money doing it, and you love learning, and you're not a quitter, and you're not a non-starter? Then private message me. I'll show you what I've been doing for over 10 years. And if it turns you on, we'll lock arms and we'll do it together. So bye for now, everybody. My website, by the way, is tombirkenmeyer.com, just like it's spelled here on social media, tombirkenmeyer.com. But private message me even if you check out that website. And let's be human beings and have a conversation. Bye for now. I'm going to do more rides. Mwah.